Welcome to Title Talk, a podcast for real estate investors where we cover tips, tricks, and trends in the industry.
This podcast is all about providing valuable insights to help you maximize your investment opportunities.
Whether you're a seasoned pro or just getting started, Title Talk is the place to stay in the know and get inspired.
So grab your headphones, tune in, and let's talk title.
Welcome!
Look who's back.
I'm back again. Jamil's back with his friend, Dina Jones. Okay, I'm done. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm phenomenal. Fantastic. Love life. Love everything about you and this business and our opportunity to get together every couple of weeks and, talk shop, title.
Hang out. Well, I've missed you, and I'm sure our audience has missed you.
I'm happy to be back. And first, I wanted to say thanks so much to all of you who watch and tune into Title Talk. I get a tremendous amount of feedback from people that gain so much from this podcast. It's really interesting to me that, this is not something that I haven't seen anybody in the influencer world really get into. Talking about title, talking about, how you can leverage title companies and how you can work with one. It's one of our most closest partners that you have in business, especially in real estate, is your title company. And it's interesting to me that we don't hear from title companies. Lenders always have a sponsor. They always do a thing, and lenders will talk, and they'll geek out about rates
because they talk about money, money talk.
But the title companies are the unsung heroes. They're the ones in the background that help so many things happen. Like you facilitate the transaction, you lubricate the transaction, you bring the parties together, you provide third-party eyeballs to the situation, you make sure everything is legally tickety-boo. You protect people within the deal, and it's an important aspect of that is bringing that level of protection and bringing that the mechanics to the transaction that allow it to flow smoothly. Because
the consummation.
Yeah, if somebody wasn't checking title, we'd have all kinds of liens and lenders that wouldn't have been paid. All kinds of people running away with money that they shouldn't be having in their hands because a creditor needed to get paid. If we didn't have title companies, we wouldn't have a place to all meet and get together and actually consummate the deal or sign closing documents. Who would check IDs? How would we know who's who?
Who would verify you are the real Jamil?
Right. So there's a tremendous amount of ways to leverage a title company. And one of the things while I was traveling, I went to Montana for a community camp. Shout out to Pace Morby, Jerry Norton for selflessly putting together a community camp where I had the privilege of inviting a handful of my Astro Flipping community members too as well. And
we want to hear about it.
Well, I want to tell you about it because I had the chance to talk on stage alongside with, Brandon Turner from Bigger Pockets. Shout out Brandon Turner, and a lot of love out to everybody in Maui right now, Brandon included.
Yeah,
we're just sending you guys so much love, and just hearts are with you guys. I had my honeymoon in Lahaina actually, and my wife and I sat under that banyan tree, which I've heard has been destroyed, and so I'm just heartbroken. I'm heartbroken with what's going on there. But
I just got chills.
Yeah.
I was emotional.
It's really tough, like I was in tears today. I was watching the videos. It was too much. But on a brighter note, I did have an opportunity to talk to Brandon and speak alongside him and Henry Washington, and we were all there, communicating about different subjects and topics. Brandon, he was really, really eloquent and spoke on how do you make your business your lifestyle, and like really taking that view of, because he's a philanthropist, he's a family man, he's a Christian. There's so many, and he's a really, really, really sophisticated investor. And he wanted to mix all that in together so that he didn't live a life that was lacking in one area, but strong in another. Right. And so I found that really important. Henry Washington is one of the most exquisite individuals I know. He's so good. He's such a loving guy. And he spoke on direct to seller, which he crushes because he's the only buyer in all of Arkansas. That's not true, but shout out Henry if you're watching this. Gotcha. But in addition to that, I got to talk about a really fun topic, and I talked about. I'm going to read you the title of my talk, and it was leveraging a title company to either create or save up to $250,000 this year.
Wow.
And so I want to talk about that today with our Title Talk audience.
Who wants to talk about this with us?
Share the ways that you can leverage a title company to save or make more money in your business.
Yeah.
Right? And it just made me so grateful as we were out there in Montana to talk about these things, because I thought about you every time. And I thought, what a lucky relationship. What a fun thing to have had the opportunity to work with you guys, to be able to produce and create this podcast for all of you guys to listen to and learn from. But then to be able to just strengthen the relationship between our companies and our business, and how well we are already doing together, but we'll continue to do. And
grow together and learn together. Like I get new nuggets every time we do this show.
Me too. Me too. But I want, and the reason why people thank me for it is because they do as well. So I'm gonna say each one, and then you and I are gonna talk about it, because I think that I don't want to just go through the list. I want to bring the list up, and I want you to then explain or show or elaborate on how we can unpack that to really squeeze the juice out of you.
All right. Well, before we do that, let's make sure that our viewers are sharing this so that their friends also get to hear these nuggets.
Absolutely. So if you guys haven't already, hit like on the YouTube button there. Just give us a little thumbs up. Also, if you are watching us, and if you wouldn't mind, it would be really impactful for us if you screenshotted this and shared it in your IG stories, or forwarded this and shared this on your Facebook feeds. Just getting the word out for others to understand how cool this show is and how much value and fun we're having providing this information to you guys. So do us a solid and share the information and share this feed so that other people can gain and learn from us as well. That's good karma coming back to you. So
love good karma.
Let's begin.
Okay, by the way, everybody who's watching, this is the first time I'm hearing about Jamil's tips. So this is going to be fun.
You don't know any of these. I didn't share this with her prior. I didn't get a, hey, watch, tell me
this is no filter. No filter.
Okay. And here's the deal. If anything that I say is either like a RESPA violation or something that we can't do.
Something that could be state specific too, right? Because I don't know what he's going to say yet, guys.
She has no clue. So speak to anything and clean up whatever I say so that we can have a comprehensive list at the end of this. And guys, if you're in Arizona, okay, we want to have a conversation with you about doing business together, because Fidelity Title is crushing it for me in Arizona. They do such great work. The officers are phenomenal. The speed incredible. The communication, like bar none. Like we don't have title problems because we have Fidelity. So
and your team is crushing it right now, by the way. Crushing it.
But yours as well. So share with us, Dina, how can people get a hold of and work with us in Arizona at Fidelity?
So just email titletalk@fnf.com, put Arizona in the subject, then I'll know you are investing here, and I will connect you with the right resources on the escrow side and also on the marketing side to help you generate more transactions.
Beautiful. To the Facebook user who is in the chat right now, come on over to YouTube. Don't be alone in Facebook. Come and network with the folks on my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Jamil Damji. And to the individual that's asking me to comp a deal, I have a challenge coming up in August. It's called Comp Fu Panda, where I'm going to be comping and showing you guys how to comp deals over 2 days. Where I ain't selling you nothing. I ain't showing. I'm just going to be using the comping software I use. And we're going to be just comping houses for 2 dang days. And we're going to go market to market, deal by deal, and have a great time. So save it for the challenge, Comp Fu Panda.
Comp Fu, like Kung Fu?
Man. Yes.
That sounds fun.
It is kind of fun. It's super fun. Okay, so number one.
Okay.
The first way to leverage a title company to generate more money is to ask for connections for JV opportunities. So I know that title companies have incredible relationships with other acquisition wholesalers and wholesale companies that are doing a tremendous amount of business. My ask when I come into a title company to do deals and do business with is say, I'm looking to grow my network. I'm looking to grow the people that I transact with and do business with. Would you mind introducing me to 4 or 5 acquisition wholesalers that you trust and love in this market that I could get to know, potentially take out for coffee or potentially do business with? Dina, anything in there that creates any anxiety for you, or do you find problematic?
So in our world, you say the word JV, right, on the title side, and people
I'm
think
talking about JV
people
and title.
think joint venture title.
I'm talking about
So
multiple assignment
yes,
deals, or
yes, yes.
you know, the deals where co-wholesale deals, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah. So
But in the investor space, it is absolutely a JV, which you're joint venturing to make money together on a deal. And
correct.
I think one of the most valuable things that we do offer is access to our network, right? If you know the kind of person that you want to meet, it's awesome to be able to connect you with those folks and put the people in the rooms together to do more deals. I mean,
And
that benefits everyone.
Would a title company have a problem introducing you to people that they do business with?
I don't know why they would.
Okay, and that's that's a routine thing for people to do, right? So guys, write this list down, because it's really important that when you are interviewing a title company to do business with, that you find out how much are they willing to work with you. Like, at what level will they leverage, and what level will they come to the table to be value add to you? Because again, you're going to bring business to them, and they should be bringing business to you as well. So this is a great way for you guys to scratch each other's backs, right? Because remember, we're primates still, and we like scratchy. Yeah, scratchy.
So I like permission-based introductions, right?
Yep.
So, and you have been a product of this many times where I've asked you, hey, by the way, I've got somebody who's looking for a connection in this space. Would I have permission to connect you directly?
Right.
And that's kind of how I operate. I don't like to just send
just
blind. I don't want to say, here's my list of my top people, right? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me, because that's going to feel like I'm not setting the relationship up for success. And that is super, super important. But permission based, let's put people in the right room. If we understand who you're trying to meet, and who you want to network with, it's going to help get more deals done. We're all about it.
Beautiful. Number one, check. Okay, so having the title company open their Rolodex to you for JV opportunities to do co-wholesale deals is something that they will do on a permission basis. But if you ask for it, they will deliver it. So make sure you put that on your list of asks when you're working with a title company. Number two, investor discounts. Okay, they save a tremendous amount of money when you're doing a deal. I always get investor rates when I'm working with Fidelity, and I know this is going to make the hair on the, your head stand up a little bit, and or potential JV opportunities with your title company. And why I say it's going to make the hair on her head stand up a little bit, because at Fidelity Title, they don't do JVs the way that other title companies might. I used to have a JV with a title company in Arizona, and guys, I folded it. Actually folded my JV, where I was a 49% partner with my title company, and I was bringing in a good chunk of money every single month with all the headaches, with all very little service. It was actually a terrible situation for me. And I just said, you know what? I'm going to make way more money, get way better service, and I'm going to save money on my rates, because you guys are going to give me phenomenal discounts. You're going to introduce me to incredible people. I'm going to have literally every soldier of Fidelity Title at my disposal when and if I need them. And you guys are the biggest in the country. This little JV check that I'm getting from these guys does not compare to the value that I get from the discounts, relationships, and opportunities that Fidelity Title provides me. So that's why I decided to forego and trade the JV relationship for just the service relationship, right? So speak to that.
Well, I loved our call. When I remember when I called you that day, and I was like, I just want to say thank you, because I'm so glad you're coming back home. True story.
I was with Fidelity for a long time.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for coming back home, and that means so much that you trust us and that you are ready to come back. And what is it? And you said, I need to be able to sleep at night.
Yep.
And I don't feel good about what I'm doing over in this
title company. No, because
arena.
People were getting gouged. People were getting price gouged. And for those that are asking, what's a JV? A JV is when you become the business partner of the title company. So you guys open an LLC together. You office out of their, like, you guys share office, you share resources, you share the escrow, supposed to share, like, costs like recording fees and paper and all of a sudden you're paying for pens. All of a sudden you're paying for the little York peppermint patties that they give away at the front desk. Like, now you're now you're part of the P&L, right? Which is pretty exciting when you are like me and you do a bunch of deals and you can bring home a lot of money from those things. So I looked at it and, we had some pretty great checks. We had some really great checks, but not one of them came without a tremendous amount of heartburn, a tremendous amount of service problems. People angry that the title costs were so high, that they were being charged for multiple assignments on a HUD, that our buyer ended up having to pay because there was two people assigning the deal, like $600 in additional fees on a HUD because of that. Never happens at Fidelity Title. You guys don't nickel and dime anybody because you guys are the nickels and the dimes. You guys are
everything
the money.
is also on there and it's spelled out. There's nothing that's hidden.
Right.
Like you won't find hidden junk fees on any of our settlement statements.
Right. So I hope that explained what a JV is to anybody that wondered what a JV is. It's when you are in business with the title company. I consider myself in business with Fidelity, but I'm in business with Fidelity as a customer. And it's like, it's so good to like be a customer because like, when you go to a place and you go to a nice fancy restaurant and you get treated like a client, you get treated like a customer. I still get that from Fidelity, but I still get my back scratched. I still get so much opportunity. I still get so many discounts. I get so many ways to earn and save with my title company that it's like, guys, this is a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer to create this form of synergy with your title company. So number 2, again, guys, discount, investor rate discounts. Make sure if you are operating as an LLC and you are a real estate professional that's in the business of doing real estate full-time, that you talk to your title company, explain to them that that's what you are, and that you would like what they call the preferred investor rate. And you will get that preferred investor rate, but you have to ask for it. It's just not going to automatically be given to you.
And here's why, guys. So we actually have to have documentation in our files to be able to prove when our files get audited that this is an investor file, right? So we can't just automatically know if somebody's a investor because they could be an investor that's buying a primary, and that's not necessarily going to apply. But here, in Arizona, we do offer discounts for investors on both the title and the escrow fee, which are substantial. Those are filed rates. Everything is on the up and up. We can get you quotes on anything that you'd like to. So if you guys are doing deals here and you want us to give you a quote on something like that, just email titletalk@fnf.com.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Number 3, marketing lists and data and information on what lists are performing the best. So what you guys don't understand is that the title company that you work with, they are marketers too. They want to find out who's who in the zoo, who are the biggest investors, who are the biggest fix and flip buyers, what are their phone numbers, what are their LLC names, what are the kinds of properties that our investors are looking for, and what kind of lists would they like to have. And so Fidelity, for instance, they've got access to a lot of data and a lot of lists. And I can reach out to Dina and say, hey, can you send me a list? In fact, I still get a list from Dina's original marketing. I get a list of expired listings sent to me every single day in my email address, in my email inbox. Expired listings. These are expireds that happened yesterday. So if I'm a creative finance investor and I want to talk to somebody about a potential sub 2, if I'm a wholesaler and I want to call somebody and say, hey, I just saw that you're agent and you had an expired listing. Well, I'm not a real estate agent, but I'm a buyer, and I'd love to give you a cash offer and work directly with you if you'd be interested in hearing from me about it. Well, that's a conversation you should be having with people who just had an expired listing the day prior. So you can get this. You can get this from your title company by asking for it. Right. And they'll provide it to you free of charge. Is there anything that I'm missing there, Dina, or is there any piece you'd like to add on top of that?
Yeah. So I would say, when it comes to data, data is everything. No matter what strategy you are using as an investor, if you're going direct to seller, if you're more on the dispo side, like whatever piece of the business that you are working on, we definitely have data resources that can help complement your strategy. So typically what I recommend is a consultation, right? So I'll jump on a Zoom with somebody and kind of figure out, okay, how are they generating their business? What does that look like? Where's their business coming from? What can they actually leverage that we have access to that they will implement that's going to help them generate more deals? So for example, if somebody just says, I'm a beast on the phone, I'm not going to give them a list of absentee owners to go door knock.
Right. Because these guys are door
They're not
knockers,
going to do
they're phoners,
this.
they're callers. Right.
Right. But it's also about like figuring out different strategies around that, different scripts around that. So we are always in conversations with people to figure out what's performing for you. I know I was just on a Zoom with you not too long ago when you were talking about empty nesters.
Right.
Being a really great target for lead lists. So I would say it varies by market. So there are some legalities on, what can be provided in certain states, but the title company is still going to be able to give you recommendations for the resources, even if they're not the ones that are providing the data themselves due to the legal stuff.
Okay. So certain areas, certain markets, they can provide lead lists and numbers and all the things. In other markets or in other situations, they can give you the best resource available.
Exactly.
And maybe even preferred pricing if they know somebody at that company. So again, marketing, leveraging the title company for assistance in your marketing. Look, if it saves you $500 a month, incredible. If it saves you $1,000 a month, oh my goodness, right? Like, how flippin' cool is that you can actually just get a resource from your title company simply because you asked for it, simply because you said, I'm looking for this data. Would you happen to have this data on hand? Well, it just so happens that I have it in my purse. Hold on one second and let me get it to you. Like, that's what, if you ever know Dina, she walks around with lists and candy bars. No, she does not candy bars.
I don't know about the candy bar thing.
I walk around with candy bars. I wish you were walking around with lists, but I do walk around with candy bars.
At tennis, they were handing out Dum Dum lollipops last night.
I love Dum Dums. That was the reason I was with Wells Fargo for a long time. Was I was like, every time I come in, I put my money in there and I get a Dum Dum. But then I realized that subconsciously Wells Fargo was calling me a Dum Dum. Number 4. The legal department and free legal advice and potential documents and contracts. So there was somebody that was just asking in the chat, hey, can a title company give you some documents? They can absolutely either give you a document if they have them available, or they can show you where you could get that document fairly easily. I've actually had, there was a time when, and I don't know how okay this was, I hope it's okay, but I didn't have
We're
an
about to find
agreement
out.
for my little LLC that I was wholesaling in, and an operating agreement was necessary in order for the deal to close. So the Fidelity Title escrow officer, guess what she did? She made it. She helped me. Was that okay?
I don't know. I mean, you're okay, right? You felt good about it.
It was very simple, but it was what was needed. It was what was needed to get the deal done, so she just did the work for me.
Well, and after the fact, I'm sure you did consult an attorney to make sure using that going forward was all good.
After the fact, I did, but yeah, I got a lot of help, right?
Yeah.
Like it was an incredible resource for me to be able to have access to, and at the end of the day, even just having them be able to look over my contracts, right? Because again, let's just say I don't get the contract from the title company, but I want the title company to look it over to see, is there anything in here that you think is going to cause me problems, like a unilateral cancellation clause instead of a mutual cancellation clause, or a non-assignability clause versus an assignability clause, right? These
or
are things,
assignment earnest money.
Right. You want to know this. You want to understand, what does the contract actually say? Like, what are the mechanics, so that you're not going to get stuck in a situation where your EMD gets burnt, or you end up in a deal you don't want because of some other thing that you agreed to, like, hey, I'll close on this thing even if there's an encumbrance on title. I once signed a contract where I didn't read it properly, and they said that they weren't required to provide me clear title, and that if I didn't close, even if I didn't get clear title, that my earnest money was at stake. I rushed through and I signed the assignment, and I deposited the EMD. Then there was a huge lien on title, and then they showed me the assignment that said that I signed, that had a clause in it that said that I would be okay with taking the property subject to an encumbrance. And so, it was a big lesson for me. I lost $5,000. I lost a relationship in that, because if I had known, I would have just said, no, thank you. This kind of deal is not for me. I don't want to deal with title issues. And so, that was a real eye opener for me, that if I had my title company, or if I had worked with my title company prior to it, and I said, hey, look at this contract and tell me where I'm going to step and do, I could have got the help. And that's the reason why these title companies have these pretty high paid attorneys on staff. How many attorneys do you think are on staff at Fidelity here in Arizona?
I don't see any comments on this one. And that's pretty good, because I don't even know. I don't even know.
You have lots though.
Oh, we have lots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So one fun thing to add on that. So a lot of the folks in the Astro community that have been reaching out to me have been saying, hey, I'm doing deals in multiple markets, multiple states. So when it comes to the contract, I would highly suggest that when you're going to be doing business in a new market for the first time, send them your contract, send the title company your contract, ask them if there's anything in there that they feel uncomfortable with, because it is going to vary per market. And that's happened to me a few times lately. People are venturing into Arizona and they want to know, are we comfortable with the contract they've got, in Michigan or in Florida? And
Good point.
so I would just highly suggest that when you guys are entering new markets, that you share your contract and see what advice they've got for you.
Love it. Love it. Oh, somebody said your pearls are amazing.
Oh, thank you.
All right. So that was number 4. Number 5. I feel like number 4 and number 5 were together, because I have number 4 as the legal department and number 5 as documents.
And for those of you guys watching, by the way, he's reading this list, and I'm hearing it for the first time.
So number 5, contracts and documents and particular. So I also had another situation where I was going to be the lender on a deal, and my title officer created my deed of trust for me, which is pretty normal.
Yeah.
So guys, if you ever want to do like a loan, I do hard money loans, private money loans, second position loans, gator loans, whatever those are. Your title company, if you're working with a good one, will create the deed of trust. That's the security that's going to hold, or that's going to be recorded against the title to secure your money. Right. So you don't got to go and pay an attorney $10,000 or $25,000 to create your deed of trust. No, they're going to write it for you. So you're going to write it. They're going to secure you. They're going to record that deed of trust against the property, and it's going to secure your money there. Right. So that was a really eye-opening thing that I didn't realize that a title company would do for me. And that you guys were asking me, okay, what's the loan term? Just so many. They were getting all the details. They essentially wrote a mortgage. Like, I mean, a deed of trust is essentially what that is, right?
Well, and if you think about it, it's like all the terms have been negotiated. There's no surprises there. It's just putting it in writing.
Exactly.
The same thing happens to us a lot of times where somebody will come to us that's a seller or that's a buyer, and it's a FSBO situation. They've agreed to the terms. There's no real estate agents involved. So there's no Arizona purchase contract,
right?
But we can follow the instructions and create the paperwork that's necessary for them, as long as they understand there's no representation in the deal.
Love it. Number 6. So guys, I just wanted to say that number 1, connections to other JVs or investors. What we've calculated at my office that's been potentially worth to us is anywhere from $20,000 to $50,000 a month. I'm not going to say that that's going to be your case, because you might not do the volume I do, but let's divide that by 10. Let's just say that you can do an extra deal a month that gets you anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000. So worth it. Number 2, when I talked about discounts and potential JVs, if that's where you go, well, we save anywhere between $10,000 to $30,000 a month in discounts, because if you took investor rates versus retail rates, we save a tremendous amount of money. So that's a huge discount for us. Marketing lists and data, you could save anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 a month. Legal fees, $5,000 a month. Contracts and documents, another $5,000 a month. Okay. Number 6, credibility. When I need to show a seller that I'm credible, that I do business, but they don't want to hear it from me. They want to hear it from somebody that's a vendor of mine that I work with, that can provide at least an understanding to the seller that I'm somebody that is viable, right?
This happens every day, actually. So what happens a lot of times if you guys are going seller direct is the seller is still nervous, right? Like, they might have agreed to the purchase price. They might need to get out of their house for whatever situation, but they are still nervous. So they call and they ask us for credibility. They want to know, are we closing deals actively with this investor? Is this person legitimate? Oftentimes, actually, in addition to this, other investors will ask us if this investor is somebody good to do business with.
Right.
So investor to investor.
For JV deals.
I mean, sometimes if somebody's like, only done a couple of deals with us, it gets a little bit more challenging, but it
But
happens.
you can honestly say,
we
hey,
could
we've
be
done
honest.
a couple of deals, but they did well, and
they closed.
They closed, so that gives somebody a comfortability, right? So that's awesome.
It's the same thing that happens if somebody cancels 90% of their contracts and they call us for the verification on that, right? Like
you're gonna dig them. Yeah. Which again, that's why I just do what you say and say what you do.
Yeah.
Right. Be real. Number 7. This one is actually one that I leverage all the time. Okay. And that is sponsorships or locations for meetups. Okay. So you guys don't understand this, but your title company, they want meetups. They want to know people. They want to get in front of more investors. They want to create opportunities and buzz and fun environments for people to get together and share best practices and share resources and information. And typically at these events or at these things, you will need to feed people. You need to give people refreshments because they get tired and hungry because we're humans and we're animals. And so a piece of that is like, hey, what do we feed these fools? Where do we put this thing? I don't got $5,000 to go rent a beautiful space to put this, and I don't got another $5,000 to buy chicken or whatever else, and I don't want to feed these guys or provide beer or wine or whatever. The title company will do that.
And oftentimes too, it's like we can get other people involved to help sponsor as well. So we have our, favorite folks when it comes to home warranty and insurance and all of the other businesses that all benefit when we close deals together, right? So we can put together a tribe with you that makes sense for whatever you're trying to do.
And I mean, can you speak to let's just say you got Fidelity, home warranty, what's another vendor?
Lender,
yeah. And one more. A real estate agent, brokerage.
Real estate brokerage, okay. Insurance.
So what would each of them be willing to put into a sponsorship for an event?
It depends on the exposure that they're getting, but I think roughly, $250 to $500, depending on their business, is kind of what we're seeing in our market right now. And then with that, they also get access to everybody who registered.
Right.
Sometimes they get to get up and speak, or they get a sponsorship table. They get marketing rights for
you
photos.
Can actually get more money for a table. Like, hey, if you maybe you pay $250 and we just say your name, you pay $500 and you get a table. You pay $1,000 and we'll let you speak, right? And so they're great. There's tiers of exposure. There's tiers of opportunity for them, and then that's what you get to get as reimbursement from the title company. So guys, if you were man, I want to do a meetup, but I just don't have the budget, dude, stop it. You don't need the budget. You don't even need the location. You just need to have the desire to do it. Talk to your title company, partner with them so that they understand what you're trying to accomplish, and then put the meetup on and watch what magic happens. We do a meetup here in Phoenix, Arizona, and we can get upwards of 200-300 people at this thing, right?
And the energy is electric.
Phenomenal. The energy is phenomenal. And my favorite food is Cane's chicken. And so guess what we eat? Cane's chicken. Because I don't care about anybody else, just what I want to eat. So that's what it is.
I think Cane's could sponsor.
They could.
They could actually be sponsors. So in addition to what he's saying on that front, I also think that your title company has access to other meetups that other people are already hosting, right? So every month I put out something on my social media that's here's where I'm going to be, and here's all the investor meetups that are happening around you. Guys, pay attention to that stuff. Ask them where they're going to be.
There you go. Number 8.
Okay. What's next?
Well, I think this one is really important to highlight because it's something that you guys this is a part of your active business, but the peace of mind to know that your position in the deal is actually secured. That when you do good title work, when they have responsible, smart human beings that are reading the title report, that are making sure that the items that are insured over are cool, that the chain of title prior to you being in the deal is clear and unencumbered and doesn't have any stickiness to it that's going to come back to haunt you. I mean, honestly, when you're putting in the kind of money that you need to put in and getting the kind of loans that you need to get when you do these types of deals, you need to sleep at night. And the only way to sleep at night is to know that you've worked with a title company that understands the business and that has protected you with the correct type of of insurance in the deal. And honestly, like it's only come back to haunt me a couple times, but each of the times that a deal has gone bad, Fidelity stepped up to the plate. Every time there was a situation, they step up and they help, they fix it, they solve it, right? And that doesn't mean they just write the check. No, that means that they go to bat. They come in, they work through the problem, and they fix it. They solve the problem. And it's like, okay, I don't got to deal with this. It's not my situation. It's my title company. They're coming in. They're going to deal with the situation. I don't even have to worry about it at nighttime because I know it's going to be okay. So that peace of mind is actually really valuable.
So we're talking ghost stories. And when you were gone and Rahima was hanging out with me, we learned she was a Ghostbuster. Did you know that?
She has been. She's busted ghosts before.
She's been a Ghostbuster.
Yeah. Rahima has seen more than I have ever seen when it comes to like how bad a house can be. Like, no doubt. That woman is, I say this and I say this in jest, please don't cancel me. But when I say this, I mean, it's like, if I was half the man my sister was, I'd be president.
That's a mic drop.
Right?
Yeah.
Or is that a
ghost?
Cancel? Anyhow,
I don't know. I think we got 2 more viewers, so I think we're okay.
We're
Nobody's
right.
canceling.
Right,
Nobody's canceling.
Number 9, guys. You know, this podcast that you're watching right now is sponsored by a title company, meaning that I actually get help to pay for the production costs of this podcast. Because it's helpful. It's providing exposure. It's providing value. You guys understand that when we do this, she gets business, I get business, we get business, we do more. You're watching me. You're also learning from us. And then that means that maybe you'll join Astro Flipping. Maybe you'll do business with some of the 100 people that are in the chat right now that you could leverage and do deals with. But that this is actually helping offset the production costs of putting this on. Like, are you kidding me? What a beautiful situation. And y'all don't even know that you could do that.
And we're having fun.
And we're having a good time. And I'm literally getting reimbursed to make content, which helps me. What is happening out here? Life is so cool, right? Like this is I think one of the coolest things. Like, imagine you got somebody in your town that's like, man, I love this title rep. I think I could do a great show with them. What's it going to cost me to put on a cool show? I need production, lights. I need a videographer. I need, there's expense.
There's a lot to it.
There's a lot to it, right? But if you can provide and show the value to the customer, to the title company and say, guys, I really think I could help drive business for all of us if we do this, they'll take a chance on you. They'll take a chance on you and they'll do it. They'll say, okay, let's go. Let's get this done. Let's create something that's awesome. And I feel like Title Talk is one of my favorite shows that we do.
Oh, for sure.
And I still can't believe that I get to be here and that I don't even have to pay this full Bobby to be here right now. You are.
Well, you know what's so funny? So for those of you guys who didn't hear the beginning story, so Jamil sent me a text from the emergency room.
Yes.
The hospital recovery. I don't know if it was when you were going in or when you were coming out of surgery.
It was after, where I had this brainchild idea. I was like, I need to work more with Dina and we need to do a podcast.
And I'm like, does anybody think title is sexy in a podcast format?
Right?
I was very hesitant.
Of course, I'm sure your people were hesitant about it too.
But you know what? You guys are telling us you think title is sexy and you like the content. So thank you.
It's incredible. And I'm truly, truly grateful for it. I'm truly grateful for the partnership with Fidelity and the ability to do this, to be able to reach an audience, to talk to you guys about, the importance of having these relationships and leveraging the relationships and doing good business to each other, with each other, and loving on each other to make sure that you guys grow in a synergistic way. You can't beat it. Right. And so, again, there's a massive value to that. I can't even put a dollar value on what this show provides me or provides you or provides Fidelity or provides Keegley, because I think that that's priceless.
Absolutely. Totally agree.
Think of that, right? So this is another one of those priceless things. Credibility piece is priceless. This piece is priceless. But now I want to get to number 10. Okay.
Thank you, JG. Title is sexy.
It is sexy. It's very sexy. For all of you new wholesalers and new creative finance investors and people that are getting involved in complicated deal structures, right? I want to tell you guys a story about one of my best friends, Pace Morby. he is known across the entire country, even outside the country, as the creative finance guy. And he will always give credit to the person who taught him how to do so much of his work, to an escrow officer named Eileen Brown. Now, she's not with Fidelity Title, but Fidelity Title loves Eileen Brown. Everybody loves Eileen Brown. In Arizona, we all love Eileen. I love Eileen. She's with a different company, but she's still a cool woman. And I'll tell you what she did. She taught that man a lot. She taught him about structure. She taught him about how to do raps. She taught him about how to do, the appropriate types of sub-twos. So guys, when you go into your title company and you leverage the wisdom, the experience of the escrow officer, don't look at the gray hairs, or don't look at the wrinkles or whatever and say, oh, this person doesn't understand. No, this person has done so many deals. This person has seen so many structures, so much creativity, that if you sat down with a bottle of whiskey and your escrow officer and you said, walk me through the most creative ways people have made money in your office, you would walk out with knowledge that would absolutely blow your mind. All right. Now, we create like that conversation with Pace and Eileen created the sub-2 God, right? Where do you fit in that conversation? What is it that you could learn from somebody of great wisdom and skill of how to create and monetize deal structure in a way that just blows your competitors out of the water? And this is something that you can't get from somebody that hasn't been in the business for 20, 30, 40 years. Mm-hmm. And guess what? Escrow officers tend to be lifers. They are in the business. They don't like leaving it. They
love it.
It's like
it. They get addicted
to it. They're addicted to it. Because they even get to see how much money wholesalers make and all the things, and they never leave. I've never yet met an escrow officer who says, you know what, I'm tired of this. I'm going to be a wholesaler. Never.
No, I've never had that happen either.
Never. No. They're always like so happy with they're always happy to be in the situation and in the position they're in. So I say this to say, go and seek wisdom from the title company or the officer that you're working with. Ask, hey, are you open to having the coffee with me? Can I just pick your brain and learn from you about some of the creative things that you've been able to do in your office and in your business here that could be like cool ways for me to monetize and do different styles of deals? Like, ask them, how have you dealt with or seen low equity deals dealt with? How have you seen, complex title situations dealt with? What's one of the best ways for me to buy a tax lien and actually be able to take that from buying the lien to closing the deal? Like, guys, you can't pay a guru to teach you this. I ain't gonna sit down and talk to you about title. I'm not. But she might. Or one of her escrow officers.
One of my escrow officers might.
Right? So I say this to explain to you guys that you're not leveraging the people that you're working with, the vendors that you're already in business with, enough. When I sat down and I wrote this speech, I realized just how grateful I am for my relationship with Fidelity and everything that they've been able to bring to my life and bring to my business. And when I walk through and I see the couple hundred families that are fed by the people at Keegley, it literally warms me up to know that not only is it just us in that office, but there's all these other families at Fidelity that are going through. And
Stephen just had a baby. Speaking of, new families,
right?
Shout out to Stephen for having his new baby.
Yes. Shout out, Stephen. So these are the things that I think are really exciting. And this is what I feel is really important to share this information with everybody who got to, tune into these 10 ways that I've been able to really expand and leverage my relationship with my title company to, make it minimum an extra or save an extra $250,000 this year. Guys, what did you think about that list? If you guys got any value from that list, just put it in the chat. Let us know that you thought it was cool. I don't know. Give us a thumbs up in the chat or whatever. But Dina, let me ask you, what did you think of that list? And would that be something that we should take on the road and share?
I think it's a road show.
Yeah.
There's one other thing we might have a number 11.
What is it?
The insurability factor.
Yes.
So oftentimes, you're in a situation where you now own an asset. Something happened along the way. that didn't go right,
right?
but Fidelity stepped up and paid that claim.
Of course.
Not every title company can pay those claims. I'm just going to be real candid with you about that. There's a lot of title companies out there, and
They broke.
they don't all
They broke.
have the means
She says they're broke.
to pay claims.
They broke. Dusty.
And claims happen every day.
You look in their bank account, it's dusty. It's dusty.
It's like wah wah wah.
Right? So you don't want to do you want to be in business with a company like that. They charged you for the title insurance, but they don't have the money to pay the claim.
That's not a good situation. Or they don't have the money to pay
that's Ponzi 101.
or maybe they don't have the money to pay the assignment fee or the real estate commissions or other things because checks bounce. That is
Sketchy shit.
it's a reality.
Excuse my language. I know there's children watching. But yes, it's sketchy and it's terrible. And this is the reason why you guys need to work with a highly capitalized title company. And when I say highly capitalized, I mean they're the richest. They're the richest in the entire business because you guys do the best work. You've been around the longest. You have the most offices. You have the most tenured staff. You have
the most claims
talent.
reserved in the business.
Most claims reserved in the business. I mean, you guys literally are the gold standard for title companies. I wouldn't even want to open a title company right now and be in competition with Fidelity because it's like trying to open a disposition company and compete against me.
Where's the little panda? I see little panda.
Just saying. So let's get into some questions here because there's been a ton in the chat.
There's been a ton of comments, guys. We're so happy that you're here. We love your comments. We love your feedback. And
what up,
I liked your list, dude. I liked your list.
That was a good list,
right?
Yeah. It was thoughtful, and I really had to sit down and open that up and again, one of those things, right? Like, what are you grateful for today? And as I was writing that list, it really made me grateful for Fidelity. It made me grateful for you. I think you could feel it in the energy of what was there. It's
absolutely
like, it's true, right? But Jacob Simpson, incredible Astro Flipping community member, asked, Can some states be mutual release only even if you have a unilateral release signed? Title is refusing to release, saying that I have to go through an interpleader because buyer's attorney is involved. What are your thoughts on that?
What market are you in, Jacob?
He's in the DMV.
Where?
He's either in DC, Maryland, or Virginia.
Attorney states, totally not my cup of tea. So I don't know the answer to that question.
Sorry, Jacob. Yeah, the attorney states are a little bit of
they're a little bit,
right?
Yeah, they're a little bit different. Hairy.
Because then you're working with attorneys. And you know, what's the favorite answer of an attorney? That depends. Oh, it depends. Oh, you know what? That depends.
Yeah, it's like depends. Aren't those like diapers for
old
grandparents?
People, yes. But if you're not in an attorney state, so if you're
Jacob, yeah.
But if you're not in an attorney state, then could a mutual cancellation clause be overridden
by?
I don't know, the needing to do unilateral.
If you have a mutual cancellation clause, it's a mutual cancellation clause.
But Jacob, I think even though the attorney's involved, if you have language in the contract that says that you have the right to unilaterally cancel, I think that the attorney, or at some point, you're going to win that claim or you're going to win that dispute. But you know, a dispute's a dispute, and you know it sucks to get in them. But
and I like that there's somebody in the chat that's got Jacob.
Not an attorney state, so he's just talking about a title company state. And so you will win that claim, Jacob, if you have the unilateral cancellation clause in your document, but somebody is challenging it. You just have to ride through the challenge. Any advice on how to ride a challenge out? Challenge to your EMD basically is what we're talking about. So I would talk to the escrow administrator at the title company and see if they can just make a decision.
Yeah, absolutely, because they do have the autonomy at the local level to make a decision if they feel like it's black or white. Right. If it's gray, then sometimes they can't, but you should be able to tell them your story, to give them your case.
Right.
And then they'll take that to legal and they'll decide what they feel, you know, makes the most sense. And if they can make a decision, they will.
Yeah, he said they refuse to release it, which means that it's still up for conversation. That means that it's not, you haven't lost it, but it's going to need to get to the the next step, which is the interpleader, or I would say that I think the interpleader means the mitigator.
Mediator, and I wonder if the title companies heard your side of the story. I think that's important.
I think they have, because I know Jacob, and he would have absolutely said what his side is. But because the buyer's attorney got involved, now title is saying, hold on, we have attorney involved. So now we got to go through the process of mediation. I think, Jacob, that's probably what you're working with right now.
Yeah, just be patient.
An attorney got involved. Now they have to go through the mediation process. So be patient. I think that's the name. Be calm, be patient, and let it play out. And because you've documented yourself correctly, you'll be all right. Philip Johnson, God dang it, asked, can I get a proof of funds? Philip, listen, I want to tell you a little story, okay?
Oh, boy.
Unfortunately, I can no longer provide you a proof of funds at this moment right now. I got into a dispute with Bigger Pockets over it. Apparently, Bigger Pockets isn't interested or doesn't support me financially backing this community. And so because of that, I've severed my relationship with them, and they've severed their relationship with me, all because I was providing proof of funds for this community. And so at the moment right now, what I'm doing is putting in new methods into my world where I can better verify who's asking for a proof of funds. And so we will be rolling that out later on in the next little while, but sadly, this is the reason why. And so, it sucks. And I'm sorry that I can't help you at the moment right now, but how you can get a proof of funds is to contact a local hard money lender in your area and let them know what you're wanting, that you want to write an offer on a purchase and you're asking for proof of funds to write that offer, and they'll gladly give you one, and they won't check your ID.
So you said a word that I wanted to bring up as a quick title tip. You said verify. So one of the biggest things that we're seeing here in Maricopa County is deed fraud. And this is mostly for folks who do not have a loan on their property. This is for vacant land. This is for single family stuff. This is for condos. And one of the best ways that you can prevent fraud while you're going into a transaction with anybody is to verify their identity before you get that far.
Right. All right, guys, I have nothing but love for BP. I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to be salty about it. It's not salt. It's just, I always thought they were for the little guy, and apparently they're not. It is what it is. Can Fidelity assist in a double closing here in Florida?
Yes, they can. And I think it was episode 5. We had Fidelity Florida on here, and they can absolutely help you. So Susan West is the president of Fidelity in Florida, and I'm sure she would be more than happy to help you. They have an entire investor services department and great folks over there.
Awesome.
I want to know what you Googled last. Let's have some fun, because we only got a few minutes left.
Two more easy questions.
Okay. Is there a Fidelity title in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania? Has to be.
I will look it up, but I think so. Yeah, I've definitely got somebody that you can connect with on that front. Yeah, just email titletalk@fnf.com.
So the last thing I Googled.
Can Fidelity do creative deals in all 50 states?
Depends.
That was the most attorney answer you've ever said.
Some states don't do creative. I just found out recently Colorado doesn't do raps. Did you know that?
I didn't know Colorado didn't like rap.
Yeah, they don't like to rap. Wiggity wiggity whack. They don't like to rap.
So the last thing that the last thing I Googled was Maui fire.
Oh.
It's like breaking my heart.
Well, look, let's just send out prayers and good energy.
And then before that, what I Googled was, what's a zaddy?
What is a zaddy?
I didn't know what one was, but somebody
I don't know what it is
one.
either.
Somebody called me a zaddy, and I guess it's like a sexually attractive old man.
Well, who called you this is what I want to know.
Somebody did, but I was like, anyhow. So I was just like, what is a zaddy? So I looked it up because I had no flipping clue what it was. And so now I know. and what you can look it up right now.
Sexually attractive man, especially an older one who's fashionable or charismatic.
Yeah,
Oh, charismatic.
yeah, yeah. No, and it's not a sugar daddy. It was a zaddy. Okay.
It's like a sugar with a different
Yeah, I had
S.
no idea what one was. I was completely like, I was lost, and I was like, somebody said, "Oh my God, it's a zaddy," and I was like, "What's a zaddy?" So then I looked it up, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's cool."
It's kind of a compliment. I mean,
Yeah, I was like, damn, damn, zaddy. That's great. Good one, Jacob.
well, we always learn something new on Title Talk.
We always do. What's the last thing you Googled?
Oh goodness.
Let's see.
This is a.
Gucci.
I don't think it was Gucci. Okay, this is silly. I'm supposed to be a pop star for Halloween, and I don't really know which one I should be. So I was looking them up.
Okay.
So, female pop stars, we got Selena Gomez, Ariana Grande, Dua Lipa,
Love her.
Billie Eilish.
Love her.
What should I be, guys? I was
Billie
kind of
Eilish.
digging her, this Anne Marie
don't know
chick.
who Anne
I don't
Marie
know
is.
who she is, but I like her outfit.
Nah.
Taylor
Nobody knows that.
Swift,
Taylor Swift is bomb.
Billie Eilish.
Katy
I think Billie
Perry.
Eilish is the way. Go emo Eilish.
Emo Eilish.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Doja Cat.
She's
Sawati. I don't think I could pull
Saweetie.
that one off.
I don't know. I think
I need to be a pop star.
you're too white for Doja. You got to be Billie Eilish.
Rita Ora. I don't know who she is either. I don't know who most of these people are. That's why I have to Google pop
Look,
stars.
You can do this. You can do Billie.
Oh, those nails look
She's dope.
fierce.
She's so cool. I love her. Yeah, that was fun.
Demi Lovato. Yes, that was the last thing.
Demi's great. Demi's great. I'm grateful for all of you guys, and thank you all for tuning in to another incredible episode of Title Talk. If you guys have any business that you want to learn about or do in Arizona, again, what's the way to get a hold of our
Title
team?
Talk at fnf.com.
Title Talk at fnf.com. That's if you are working in Arizona, have any deals in Arizona. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to do business with you. So please give us a shot in AZ, because that's where the business is. Also, we have some relationships across the country, but AZ is where it's at. Y'all want to, if you're doing a virtual market, you got to come to AZ. I mean it. I'll be your buyer. So come to AZ and do business there.
And we've got our next meetup September 22nd here in Tempe.
Yes.
So you guys should come to that. If you need the info, you can look at either of our stories. We actually shared it today. And I want to throw something out to our group before we wrap.
Sure.
I think you're doing where should Jameel move to temporarily?
Not move to, but I'm going to go spend a week in a new market that I don't have a lot of connections in. And I'm going to work with a struggling wholesaler to help them get however many deals done we can get done in a week. And I'm going to take all of the money from those deals and we're going to split it 50-50 between a charity and the human that I'm helping. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm still deciding what market to do that in. So if you guys have any suggestions on where I should go, Fidelity will absolutely be involved in that decision, because I want to make sure that Fidelity Title is a part of that whole. That's going to be fun.
It's going to be super
Just
fun.
running into a town and being like, what do I do? Well, do what you teach. All right, get to it. And so that's what I'm going to do.
Does it have to be somewhere you don't already have a franchise?
I'm not going to listen. I'm not choosing a market based off of where I have network.
Okay.
Because what I teach is you can create your network, and it doesn't take a long time to make really solid connections with people. So I'm going to be coming in and like really just starting from scratch. Like, okay, I don't know anybody here. All right, so I'm gonna do some agent outreach. Gonna do some on market deals with Privy. I'm gonna go and make some connections to buyers. I'm gonna go find some connections to wholesalers. I'm gonna connect the dots. And in a week, I'm gonna see what I was able to accomplish. Do I get a deal done? Do I not get a deal done? What happens?
Yeah, I'm sure you can document the whole thing so we
100%
can
I'm gonna
all
document it.
hear the story. Okay,
and we're gonna see the struggle. We're gonna see the win. We're gonna see the loses. It's gonna be all of it. And the thing about it, what I'm really excited about doing that is that we're going to bless a family who is, needing help And then, but B, I'm going to teach a skill to somebody, right? They say teach a man to fish.
Mm.
And so I'm actually going to call this challenge, teach someone to fish.
So
the fishy challenge.
The fishy challenge. The fishy challenge. I don't know. That smells a little funny.
Is it? You guys like the name?
I'm not sure about the name. I think we got to work on that a little bit.
Okay, not pishy pishy. We're not going to call it pishy fishy? Fishy fishy?
So I got to ask a question about that.
Yeah.
What time of year is this going to be? Because, you know, I wouldn't recommend you moving to Arizona in August necessarily. Is this weather a factor?
Yeah, weather will be a factor. I might choose a cold ass place and do it in the winter. I don't know, because I want to make shit hard. Who knows?
And who chooses the charity?
I haven't decided that yet.
Okay, so you guys are hearing it first and live. So if you guys have a recommendation on who Jamil should go hang out with for a week,
Honestly,
what market?
If there's an opportunity and then this happens soon enough, I'd probably donate it to Maui Relief.
Yeah.
It's deep on my heart right now. So I would really love to be able to help the people that might be suffering or, dealing with what's happening right now in Hawaii. It's super sad. So big prayers to everybody in Maui right now. We love you guys. Well, we're at the end of the hour.
Well, this was fun.
Super fun.
How come this time flies so quickly?
I think because we jam.
Yeah, we have some fun.
Guys, thank you so much. If you got anything out of today's episode, do me a favor and like, subscribe. And also, Dina, where can people find you on Instagram?
Dina M. Jones, Dena M. Jones.
Dina M. Jones,
Yeah,
guys.
you can
Make
find
sure
me.
you give her a follow on Instagram, and we'll see you back here in a couple of weeks.